I think it's safe to say that McDonald's is one of the most recognizable names in the fast food industry. With nearly 40,000 restaurants around the world, it might not be your favorite option when it comes to fine dining, but it certainly is an option. With a company so big, it's no surprise that they've tried their hands at many different ways of attracting customers. The McDonald's Play Place, McDonald's Video Games, McDonald's Monopoly, these awesome tables with lights in them, and even, for a short time, animatronics. Today I'll be talking about said animatronics, from the ones you've likely seen, to the ones that are pretty obscure. Welcome to the wonderful world of McDonald's animatronics.
I'd say I was speechless, but I have one more thing to announce. Coming this year, Peggle 2!
Due to the sheer lack of information on these guys, as stated earlier, I'll be talking about them in the order of how obscure they are, from the most popular to the least. So to begin, let's talk about Mac tonight.
When the clock strikes 6:30, time to head for golden lights. It's a good time for a great taste dinner at McDonald's. It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
During the mid-80s, McDonald's created the iconic Mac Tonight advertising campaign. Their hopes were to get more traffic at McDonald's during the evening, which I'd imagine did end up happening because the ad campaign was a resounding success. The ads featured the character Mac Tonight playing his piano and singing about how you should go to McDonald's for dinner instead of supporting a local business. After the success of these ads, Mac Tonight became a sort of secondary mascot for McDonald's, ultimately leading to the creation of the Mac Tonight animatronic. This is probably what you think of when you hear the term McDonald's animatronic, which makes sense because he was by far the most memorable and popular of the bunch. The Mac Tonight animatronic did more or less exactly what he was known for, singing and playing the piano. The animatronic was created by Manatron, who worked on another McDonald's animatronic I'll get to later, and also created some animatronics for Universal. From what I'm aware of, there were two versions of the show, one with just Mac Tonight, and one with a couple of animatronic chickens in the background to sing along with him. Anyway, now it's time to check out the retrofits for Mac Tonight, of which there were two that I'm aware of. First up is Rory the Lion. As far as I'm aware of, there were very few of these ever made, possibly even only one, and I don't even know if it ever made it into an actual McDonald's location. So more or less, what I'm saying is I don't know much. Another slightly lesser known retrofit was this Hamburglar one, and although it looks far less professional than Rory, it certainly still is a retrofit. I'm not really sure if it ever worked or if they just converted it into what is more or less a Hamburglar statue, but who's to say? These days, Mac Tonight has been more or less entirely phased out due to him not only becoming irrelevant, but also being involved in a certain meme. With that being said, there is one last place you can still see the Mac Tonight animatronic today, and that's in the world's largest entertainment, McDonald's. He does technically still work too, but from the most recent videos I've seen, he looks like he's on life support. Alright fellas, things are about to get really obscure. At some point around the early 2000s, this Ronald McDonald animatronic was introduced. From what I know, I don't think this was a very widespread thing, with only a few locations getting him. To start the Ronald show, you had to push a button on the table directly in front of the animatronic, and said show consisted of him and his cheeseburger, fries, and soft drink talking about going out for a picnic and teaching very simple Spanish while they were at it.
It's a great day for a picnic, isn't it?
At McDonaldland, it's always a great day for a picnic.
You're right.
This animatronic was also created by Manatron, and while it's even more of a bare-bones animatronic than Mac Tonight was, it does get the job done. My only criticism of the Ronald show other than that is, for an animatronic show specifically directed at fairly young children, Ronald looks kinda creepy. Maybe it leans into the whole uncanny valley thing, but I don't know, he just looks off. I like the burger though. If the Ronald show barely constitutes as an animatronic, I don't even know what to call this thing. Ollie Oak was a character in McDonald's lore who grew the patented McDonald's hamburger, which honestly kinda makes sense, because if I had to describe McDonald's hamburgers in 2 words, I'd pick lumber and chlorophyll. To cut to the chase, it's kinda hard to say what movements Ollie had because in all of the videos that I've seen, he's in such a terrible condition, he looks like he's in a coma. In fact, most of the videos I've seen only have the burgers moving, and sometimes they don't even budge. Similarly to the Ronald show, to start Ollie's show you pushed a button on the table in front of him. But Ollie's actual show is more or less purely for entertainment, because instead of him teaching about Spanish or how to evade taxes, he sings about how he's a tree who grows the trademark McDonald's hamburgers. And yeah, I can confirm, that's what he does.
I'm a hamburger tree, and I grow delicious McDonald's hamburgers, as you can see. I've come from deep in hamburger hall, with all kinds of hamburgers to chew and swallow. Look and see, they're almost ready.
Alright, so now that we've gotten all the main animatronics out of the way, I ran into one last animatronic that I just really wanted to talk about. Look at this moose. So this is the talking moose head from the McDonald's in Meredith, New Hampshire. This McDonald's has a pretty unique theme that kind of reminds me of a log cabin, complete with different items thrown across the walls, a fireplace, and, of course, the moose. The moose doesn't have a show or anything, but he does announce the specials for the day, which I think is kind of neat.
Try our new specialty coffee. It's better than pond water.
So that's all the McDonald's animatronics that I'm aware of. There's a chance I missed a few smaller ones like the moose, but I think I got all the main ones covered. If you have a topic that you want me to talk about, make sure you make a comment requesting it. There's a good chance I'll get around to it.